Transparency as Iran released 4 Americans in a prisoner swap. Happened around the State Department spokesman John Kirby telling me last hour that everything in this deal was above board.
What I can tell you is there is no secret about it. The president spoke about it in January. The secretary spoke about it. I spoke about it. Everybody has been upfront and honest about what happened here and why it happened and how it happened.
Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary under President George W. Bush, here on this. How you doing, Ari?
Good morning.
You follow the story. You heard what Kirby had to say. What do you think about it?
Well, I listened with care with what John Kirby said, and I thought he made an admirable case for why it's not a ransom. The problem is, this is the ultimate. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and acts like a duck, it's probably a duck. And when you got into those negotiations with Iran, it's perfectly conceivable that there was a wink and a nudge, and the administration said, we want these people back, they want their money back, make it happen. That's much too close to looking like a ransom.
What he argues is that last January that John Kerry talked about this. In fact, Kerry said this on January 16th, which was a day before the president spoke. Watch.
There is no question that the pace and the progress of the humanitarian talks accelerated in light of the relationships forged and the diplomatic channels unlocked over the course of the nuclear talks.
So it was the next day I found the statement from the State Department where he talked about this money going to Tehran. The point he's making is that, hey, unless we did all this stuff, unless we built relationships, none of this is even possible. The problem is, since then, they've taken 3 more Americans hostage.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't end, Ari.
And they haven't changed their terrorist ways around the world or their support for Syria. So we got none of the other ancillary benefits we were supposed to get out of this deal. And they're still going to be on a path to getting nuclear weapons. So I oppose the whole deal. But this is where you need really deep, smart reporters to dig into this. It's a complicated story. And reporters are going to have to spend time now to walk through this to see, was this indeed ransom? Because it sure looks like from all appearances. And if it's just about building relationships, why do we have to give them $400 million?
That's a good point. I mean, you chose to settle the case. That was in litigation.
Right.
Maybe you win that case.
Exactly.
And now they would say that they save taxpayer dollars because of it. You buy that?
No, I don't. What they're saying is the interest they would have been owed could have been $7 or $8 billion, so we got lucky and it's only $1 billion. But Kirby also said today that this was a coincidence, just a coincidence. Josh Earnest in January, the White House spokesman, said it was not a coincidence. Now, I feel a lot of sympathy when the White House spokesman and the State Department spokesman aren't on the same page. It happens, but they're contradicted each other.
Why were they so hell-bent on getting a deal with Iran?
Well, I think President Obama sacrificed a lot because he wanted to reach out and change Iran, thinking that if we could have a relationship with them, the world would get better. The world's getting worse. And we got nothing out of that deal. And Israel is still in danger. Iran is still in Syria. Nothing's changed. America's out $400 million, and now we're paying money to ransom.
I saw Eric Holder at the convention in Philadelphia last week, and I asked him about his relationship with Barack Obama. That was the night the president was speaking, and he said, history will be kind to this president. Just give it 5 or 10 years.
To Barack Obama.
To Barack Obama. Do you think?
Well, I think the press has already been kind to Barack Obama. History, history is written by a lot of liberal historians, so I think those who write it will, but I think President Obama, when you look at his record, when you look at the red line, when you look at what he said about if they cross the red line for chemical weapons, we're going to take military action, didn't back it up. Syria this morning used chemical weapons in Aleppo. So when you look at the Obama record around the world, it's been one of vacuum forming that the Muslim Brotherhood and ISIS have filled, much to America's detriment.
You make a great point about the reporting aspect of this, because you've got $1.3 billion more that apparently has been agreed to. How are you going to make that payment? Another pallet of euros in the dark of night?
Kudos to the Wall Street Journal, and in the old days, a lot of other reporters would have dug into this story too. I'll be very interested to see how interested the press is in this story.
Thank you, Ari, for coming in. Ari Fleischer with us today. Thanks. Liz, what's next?
All right, brand new information on the spread of ISIS. The terror army now expanding operations across the globe, according to a new report. A stunning new map supplied to the White House shows the new global reach of ISIS. And hold on to your seat.
Okay, I'm going to go underneath here. Whoa. Now the wind is going real. Whoa!
I mean, take cover. That was a lightning strike on a live stream, giving quite a jolt. See in a moment how close Mother Nature came to teaching this. Wow, it sure did. Teaching a weather watcher a lesson. Next. Hi, I'm Scott Reds first baseman, Joey Votto.
First base, Votto over by the wall is there, and he can't hang on to it. The fan, look at Votto, look at him and says, dude, you're a Reds fan.
Yeah, dude is right. You're wearing the colors. Votto clearly not happy. Losing is cool. I mean, can you blame him? That would have been an out, right, Liz? After the inning, Votto kind of knows it. Feeling bad, he grabs the ball and autographs it, then walks it over to the guy and apologizes, and takes a selfie with him. Check out how he signed the ball with an apology in part. Reading, thanks for being so understanding. Nice touch, Votto. Classy move.
I like it.
Cincinnati.
I like it. All right, a Fox News alert for you on the expansion of the Islamic State, even as the U.S. carries out more airstrikes against the terror group in Libya. It's reportedly expanding its footprint across the world. NBC News reporting on a map prepared by the National Counter-Terrorism Center that's apparently showing a threefold increase in the number of countries where ISIS is operating. They say the map was part of a classified briefing document sent to the White House and dated this month. Waleed Faris is a Fox News Middle East analyst and someone who we always go to when we learn of stories such as this. Waleed, first and foremost, when we see any type of map or just showing basically the involvement of ISIS, I want to ask you, does this surprise you that you learned this was part of a classified briefing?
Not at all. Look, this map is important for the public to see. This map is basically put together by looking at every incident, and this you can find from open sources, and then create a blip. Then when you look at the whole picture, you get a lot of concern. But let me tell you this. 10 years ago, in 2006, we presented a map of projection to Congress, to the agencies of the administration then. It was not a secret briefing at the time, where we projected where the jihadists are going to go. And ISIS is just doing this. Whatever the ideology went ahead of them, they are being able now to recruit and therefore to act. So I think the other map is also important because it's a much larger one.
All right, and part of this article said that in 2014 there were 7 nations where ISIS was operating. In 2015 it grew to 13. And now in 2016, allegedly 18 countries where ISIS is fully operational. How does the White House combat that?
Well, they have two ways. Number one, those drones and attacks and concentration of fire in Iraq and Syria. Now they open a new front in Libya. They have another strategy, which is counter-messaging the extremists, which is not very clear to me. But there's a missing part of this map, which is basically what ISIS is doing and where is it growing outside those countries as cells, as we saw in America, in Canada, in France, and other countries in the West. That is the map that is the most dangerous at this point in time.
All right, you mentioned the airstrikes in Libya. What else needs to be done? Is that enough?
Well, these are reactions. What we need to do is a revision of the strategy is, first of all, bringing down Mosul and Raqqa as soon as we can, but then wage the ideological warfare, not just with ISIS now, but with the next ISIS to come. That's what we should have done 10 years ago, and that's what we should do now to prevent a much bigger map of what we see right now.
You know, we've heard from you and other analysts who basically say, you need to cut the head off the snake. Are we doing that?
We are playing with the head of the snake, we are playing with the tail, meaning you have two cities. You have Raqqa, you have Mosul, and now you have part of Libya. That is what they should have done 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. After that, the bigger question is going to be, what are we going to replace ISIS with? Because what we've done in Iraq, we destroyed Al-Qaeda, and then we left Iraq. We left Iraq very quickly without ensuring that there will be moderates. The real battle is, after you crush ISIS, you want to work with moderates, bring them in, and partner with them.
Does the White House have that plan looking forward?
Actually, the White House and the administration have been receiving delegations that are more so with the Muslim Brotherhood, thinking that they would be the alternative instead of getting the delegations of people and NGOs who are on a moderate side. That's why I am arguing that we need to have a change of policy in Washington first, so we can figure out how to replace ISIS in the future in the region.
All right, Waleed Faris, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
John Scott's coming up next on Happening Now. Rolling your way in 12 minutes. Hey, John, good morning.
Good morning to you, Bill. More on that.